Hello and welcome to my channel. I wanted to discuss something today about Civivi knives. Particularly, these are the little small, the two ones that I have. This is the Civivi Shard, and this is the Civivi Elementum. The Civivi Shard was the very first Civivi knife that I picked up, and right away I noticed that I liked the finger choil that's in here. And it feels like a little bit of a thick knife, but it comes in handy when you put your thumb down here on this and you're resting in this position. It supports more of your thumb. um, it has this one costs $68. Something that's sort of funky, some people may like it or not, is this carbon fiber insert. The only advantage I can see to it is on this titanium clip. It's a smooth surface for it to rest on, and it gives it less chance of grabbing your clothing and stuff. Now, Civivi has come out with, I don't have one of these, and I probably won't get it, but the model is called the Little Fiend, and it looks almost exactly like this knife, except that it's all G10 or carbon fiber. There's no little inlay on there. The Civivi Elementum, of course, a lot of people know about this one. I'm not going to do a complete review on the Elementum because so many people have done it. I just like to say this is mine, and it's a great little knife. My detent on this Elementum is Civivi usually gets the detents down perfectly on these knives, but I can fail it. What I've done is I've increased the tension strength on my liner here to try to prevent that, and I've lubed up the internals of it, so it's made the detent stiffer. But there you go. You can fail it if you don't give it enough force on it. I mean, if you're light switching it, it's usually pretty good. If you try to push button it, it won't always work. That's the push button. Also, I don't have this disassembled right now, but inside the detent track on this particular Civivi, I have a little nick that was done. So, I don't know if I can feel it right there. Right there is just a little nick. I took another piece of metal and I tried to reduce the amount of the nick in there so that this encounters it. But if you've got kind of a weak spring anyway, and you're coming back, if your blade hits some more resistance, that little nick will just slow it down. So right there is where the nick is at. And if that nick wouldn't have been there, it would have allowed probably enough force for this to come out. Anyway, it's not a big issue. The main difference between these three models that I can see is the price. This basic model is like $50. I'm going to put, I'm linking Blade HQ's prices up there as of this time of this video, which is, I think it's January 28th, 2020. This one is $50. This one is $68. And the Little Fiend is $48.15 or something like that. I'll put the prices up there. So you're basically getting the same kind of knife. The cutting edge on these is identical. There might be maybe a millimeter that's different, but the cutting edge is the same. This one is a smaller knife. Sorry about this wiggling in the camera setup. I'm doing this on a cell phone, and it's on one of those cable things that attach to the table, so it wiggles. I like the hollow grind on this one right here. I'll have the dimensions up there, but this one appears to have, maybe it's just the way they do the swedge on that, but it looks like it has a little bit thinner blade stock. Anyways, both of these are excellent little knives, and it really just comes down to which style of blade you prefer and which one you would rather have, really. I mean, if you can afford, to me, even though this one costs more, I like the Elementum better. It just carries a little flatter. The finger grooves are all right, but I mean, this is like non-finger specific, so you can grab it anywhere. This one with the little ramp is pretty nice. And then if you want to do a little bit more details, a little slope area up here you can put your thumb up on if you really need it and everything. And this one is just jimped. The Elementum is just jimped right up here, but there's a nice smooth area up here if you wanted to just do a little more pressing down. They're excellent knives. I mean, the only problem I had with the Elementum was they sold out of the initial batch, and by the time I got money to get a knife again, they had come out with a bunch of different other Civivi models that I want also. So I had to force myself to say, no, this was originally on my list, the Elementum, and I wanted to get it before I got like the Shredder or the Brigand or the Linchpin. They've just come out with so many, and they keep doing that. So I only have so much money, and I have to throw it where I can. So I'm going to try to make more informed buying decisions this year with knives. So I'm on a limited income. But anyone considering a Civivi knife, you won't be disappointed. They're excellent little knives. I think they're appropriately priced. I just question, you know, since this was the first one, I just question why they went with $68 on that when they could have gone much less. But, you know, you have more styling and everything else, so who am I to judge how they price things and everything? I'm just a consumer. I'll buy it if it's decent, and really my choice out of all the three would be the Elementum, and you can get it in whatever kind of scales that happen to be available at the time. The only thing I wish, and maybe this is possible, I've heard of people writing to Civivi in China or whatever and ordering additional scales. Like you could get rosewood scales. They ordered the scales, so instead of having to get a whole nother knife, you could just get the scales. I think they could make a lot of money by offering that on their regular knives. You know, they've already got the molding, they've already got the pattern and everything. All they have to do when they make up knives is make extra handles, and the extra ones that you've got can either be replacement parts that you sell later on, or optional, you know, like you want to change the color of your scales. I'm sure, you know, since the knife is only like $50, the scales shouldn't probably cost you much over $15 or $20, you know. And that can make a big difference depending on what you want on your knife. You could change the look. Anyways, thank you for watching. I will try to, like I said, when I do reviews, or when I do stuff on knives, I want to try to impart something that maybe other people don't see out of there, or just give somebody an idea of whether or not they would like a particular knife if they bought it and everything. And you really can't go wrong with any of these Civivis, in my opinion. This is not a paid promotion or anything like that. I don't work for Civivi, obviously, but they're excellent little knives, and they really become my favorite budget brand knife. Although CJARB is really kicking out some pretty good ones too at an affordable price. But there you go. Thanks for watching, and have fun.